Listen to that. I can hear the engine in the back. I can hear the intake noise from the back. That is just so nice. Welcome guys to another episode on the Extra Mile. My name is Alex and welcome to the very first Forza Horizon 5 episode. Guys, I'm so excited to share this with you, to share my journey through Forza Horizon 5 with you. There's a lot to love about this new title. There are a few little things that are not so great, which I will mention. But first, let's start with the great things. So, for this first drive, I've chosen this car, which is the lovely M3 Coupe, also known as the Clown Shoe. And I've chosen this car because these cars, with this engine specifically, are relatively tricky to get right in the game in terms of the audio. By the way, before we start, I want to mention something that could be very helpful in terms of the audio balancing, the audio mix rather, in this game. It is pretty much geared towards sound effects and music, so just a tip if you want the same setup as I have. I have car volume at 100, tires at 60, and the rest at 40 or 50. So I actually pushed the actual engine sound a bit higher in the audio mix. Anyway, let me show you what is so great about Forza. The way that they differ is that the interior sounds actually sound like you're sitting inside a car, and you have that intake noise. Let me show you what I mean. We have that lovely intake from the front. It just sounds very good, very believable. It might not be a huge night and day difference if you just listen to it on YouTube, and I'm not sure if the YouTube compression will take away a little bit of the detail. I try to render everything at the max quality that I possibly can, but I'm not sure that what I hear right now in my headphones will be replicated one-to-one when you watch this video. But what I can tell you is that that is so good. That is so close to what I hear in a real car. It's a lot better than what I've heard in any other game so far. And I don't make that statement lightly. Sadly, as you probably have noticed right now, I'm playing with the gamepad, not with the controller, because anytime I touch my controllers, I get this message, which is a bug. And they're trying to fix these wheel issues right now. Listen to that. Let's go to the external sounds, and while they are also very good, I think where this game really shines is with the internal audio, but I'll let you be the judge of that. Also, really nice, but when you go to the internal cam, you get more of that intake whine, or not whine, it's not a supercharger, but that induction noise, and it's just so good. Let me switch cars, let me switch to another cars that is very, very tricky to get right in games. Countach. Very tricky to get right. Very nice and batsy down low. And you get those V12 trumpets, those Weber carburetors going. it's just very good. It's very, 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 very good. I still am not sure if a sample-based sound engine overall will be able to get to that holy grail of a car game that sounds just like real life. I still think that we probably need some kind of engine simulation to get that dynamic effect so that it doesn't sound artificial. But that's just very, very good. Again, let's go to the external cam for a second. So this one is slightly tuned just with an exhaust and a cam. And again, while the external sounds are good, to me, where Forza really shines, it's right here. The internal sounds. So good. So good. Let me go for a third car and then I will stop going on about the sound and talk a bit more about the game itself. But it is worth mentioning the sound because it's a huge part of the enjoyment that I can pull out of this game. So, this is a Hammer AMG, which is an E-Class coupe with a V8. So what I did to this car is obviously cams. It revs a little bit higher. It needed a gearbox because it comes with a 4-speed automatic gearbox stock, which kills the car in my opinion. So this has a nice, I believe it's a 6-speed, yes, a 6-speed. So yeah, just listen to this, guys. Come on! It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Again, let's go to the external cam, do a launch. Let's take a look at the car first. I mean, look at that. It's just, it's so pretty. Okay, let's do a launch. And again, the external sounds are good, but this, where you have the intake sound, that is where Forza really shines. And I'm looking forward to driving every car just to see how it sounds. Alright, let's go, while we're here, to the handling. This is a fitting part. So obviously right now I can only drive with the gamepad, but let me tell you that the balancing, I don't know if balancing is the right word, but the calibration of the gamepad, the default calibration, is as close to perfect as I've ever seen it in any other game. It is so good. It feels very natural, unless you spin out just like I did. But that also goes to show that it's not super easy. It doesn't feel like Need for Speed, where it feels artificially held back. Need for Speed is quite apparent when it comes to that, at least unmodded Need for Speed. It just feels wrong. This doesn't. The car still feels somewhat natural. Maybe one thing that I can say on the negative side is that the cars tend to feel a little bit similar. So I could do the same drift in third gear with the Countach. Actually, let's try that. When you get to the limit, it... there is a simplified physics model there, but somehow it doesn't detract from the driving experience too much, and I think you kind of need to simplify it a little bit for the controller, so people can drive it basically and not fly off the road all the time. So that is why I'm really curious about the wheel handling. Okay, we might have to do this in second gear. Yeah. So third gear. The gearing is a little bit off for this roundabout. But what I meant is that when you go over the grip limit, maybe we'll find a smaller roundabout here. The cars tend to handle somewhat the same. You get into the slide phase, and there are differences definitely between the mid-engine cars, the front-engine cars, front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. You can feel all the basics. I just feel like it helps you a little bit more than a real sim would do. But then again, that is the name of the game here. This is not a hardcore sim. This is just a beautiful piece of nature, actually, with lots of beautiful roads, beautiful cars to enjoy. And it's not supposed to be a hardcore sim. And in terms of how it feels with the gamepad, I can honestly say that I've never experienced another driving game that felt as good or better than Forza Horizon 5 does on a pad. I truly have. It truly is great. I hope to try Forza Horizon 5 with the wheel. I don't think for some reasons that it will be as good in the wheel as it could be. I think that the handling is optimized for the gamepad a little bit. Oh, there we have a smaller roundabout. Alright, second gear. Second gear drift coming up. But weight transfer, another thing. All the basics are there, and... what the hell was that? I don't know what that was. But yeah, all the basics are there. So it doesn't feel artificially held back. It's just like all the cars were made to handle a little bit easier than they maybe should be. And here I was boasting about drifting the Countach, and it's actually not as easy as I thought it would be. But it still is easier than it should be. You probably could do that with the Countach in real life. But it would take a little bit of practice, I'd imagine. But yeah, so the cars each feel different from each other. They all have their own unique handling, but they're all a little bit simplified as opposed to what their counterparts would feel in real life or in a simulation. That's basically my take on it. Let me show you one of my favorite cars. This is a Crown Vic police car, basically, that I have optimized slightly. So this has all-wheel drive and about 1400 horses. So let's launch this. This is insane, and it sounds so good. Again, it's hard to describe, but it feels and sounds very, very, very good. Come on, come on. I probably should adjust the torque split a little bit. Okay, let's take the Crown Vic into the roundabout. That's what I'm talking about. I also noticed there's a lot less traffic in general in this game than there was in the previous title, which is actually not bad because the traffic in previous titles, especially in Forza Horizon 4, kind of got in the way sometimes. Oh yes. Okay, very shitty driving here today, but let me talk about one more thing where this game absolutely stands out, and that is the map. The map is huge. It is, I would say, maybe 50% larger than the map in Forza Horizon 4, maybe 40%. It's hard to say in terms of square miles, how much it is exactly, but it is noticeably bigger. The game itself looks just prettier. Just that step closer towards photorealism. It's a very, very beautiful environment to drive. Listen to that. It's very, very, very nice. I often find myself just when I get a new car. Actually, I got a few new cars at a spin just before I recorded. So let's see if we can take them for a drive. That might be a little bit too boring. Let's see what else we have. That's interesting. A 1970 GT70 Ford. I've never heard of that car. So let's take it for a spin. See how it sounds. But yeah, I often find myself just cruising around with a gamepad, going through the gears, listening to the engine, just enjoying the car and the map, to be honest. Oh! That sounds... maybe like a 4-cylinder? Listen to that. I can hear the engine in the back. I can hear the intake noise from the back. That is just so nice. All right, let's do one more little experiment. Whoa. Let me show you how you can further change the sound in the game, because that is another new thing, that exhaust configurations and intakes actually change the sound, which I love. Oh, this is awesome. So let's rev the engine. So this is what it sounds like. Let's go to the exhaust. And you get that rasp. Actually, the stock exhaust sounds pretty good as well. But I like that little bit of rasp, so we will go with that. Oh wow, you can hear that. Let's go with the intake, definitely. Let's actually, not all of these change the sound. It's just the intake and the exhaust. Obviously the cams will increase the pitch overall because we rev higher, but it doesn't change the sound itself. Alright, so let's go for a test drive, see how she drives. 412 horses now. That's actually pretty... Wow. Wow. That intake. And that's what I mean. That is just awesome. Look at the clouds as well. Of course, we have seasons again. I believe right now it's spring. I'm actually not quite sure. Oh, wow. And you can feel how much lower it sits on the ground, too. Feels more direct. That's actually interesting. The physics engine might be a little bit more sophisticated than I give it credit to. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Easy. Ah, that sounds good. So yeah, with these options, different intakes, different exhausts, you can create a relatively unique sounding car. Oh man, I love that, I love that. With just a few, well, just a few, basically completely rebuilt engine, lowered suspension, we obviously have a very, very different driving experience. also, another note before I let you go for today is with the old Forza Horizon 4, I learned the map relatively quickly and I said, oh, okay, this is this part, this is that part, I know that, I know this. But here, that is not even close to happening. I've put maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours into it so far. Just trying to see what the game can do. Ah, yes. And this road, as you can see on the map, I've never driven this road before, so there's no way of knowing where it goes. But I feel like every time I go for a drive, I discover something new. And yeah, so the map probably is the biggest reason for me to come back. Even though the rest is so good, the visuals are so great, the sound is so good. It's the map that keeps me going back because it just feels like a place that you want to explore. It's just so well done. Okay, a little bit of a top speed run here, let's see. 210 before, or 225 rather. Okay, yeah, this is... What? No,
Get sideways and don't look back.
That's not what I wanted to do. That was 276.
You have to stick to the route, but traction is optional.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that right now. But yeah. So in short, first impressions are very, very good. I can't wait to try this with the wheel. I hope that it will work with the wheel. But I'm already having a lot of fun with the gamepad as it is. Buying the cars, looking at the cars, tuning the cars is a lot of fun. And the next episodes of Forza, we will focus on specific cars and just build them, race them, explore the map a little bit, just have fun with the game. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on Forza Horizon 5 in the comments. Let me know if there's something that you want to see. A car that you would like to see me drive or build or race. A place on the map that I should visit. If there's anything like that that you want me to do, just leave a comment. I'll be glad to follow that advice. So yeah, this is it. A very quick and dirty first impressions video of Forza Horizon 5. I love it. I already know that I will get a lot more playtime out of this one than the previous one. And yeah, this is it for me for today, guys. I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye. Thanks for watching.